So instead of chasing things and instead of being all about the to-do list, this is an intention, this is a goal, and it's certainly a feeling that we want to pull us through the year. That magnet that's there that allows us to be engaged and present and connected, because there is so much in our world, in our news, in our humanness, in our saboteur contagion that leads us to fear and to worry and to low frequency energies. So there must be an intention set, but there must be action to follow through to actually feel how you want to feel consistently. Hi, welcome to 2025 and this episode of Intuition, Your Success Compass. I'm Vicky, your intuitive advisor, guide, coach, friend, I hope, and fun partner for this year. I've decided for 2025, I want to have more fun. I want to be in a feeling of spaciousness in my time, in my conversations, in my learning, in my interactions with others. So you know how usually every year we'll pick a word and we will use that as an intention for guiding us through the year. And then about a month or two in, we forget what that word is. Well, I decided this year that I wanted to narrow it down to a feeling rather than a word that could become abstract, definitely forgotten, and creates another feeling of have to do that, or another goal that might feel like too much when there's enough going on. So this year I decided I wanted to focus on a feeling, and I'm going to encourage you to do that too. So your energy reads emotions. It's based, your intuition is based on being able to understand and to take in all the messages that are flying around through your emotional state, right? So this is brilliant in that it helps you to understand who you are, hopefully navigate relationships in a self-aware way, be aware of whether the judge is showing up or whether you have a self-command and you are leading and living through a practice and an intention and action of wisdom, of a supportive mindset, of a guidance system that has you navigating this world, both non-physical and physical, in a way that feels good. Now, life is going to have times where you don't feel all ooey gooey about things, but that doesn't mean that we have to be in this big drama space or that we have to put more pressure on ourselves. I feel like the more we allow ourselves and the more fun we have, that things just open up. The energy of your soul is joy. Everybody's soul's energy is joy. That's what it knows. It loves everything about being here, about being human, about being in existence. So why don't we ditch the word focus and focus on more of a feeling? Ironically, a couple years ago, the word focus was my word for the year. And I feel like I did probably about a 25% accuracy on that. And then my judge came in and beat me up for not being proficient at focus. And one of the things I learned through the positive intelligence is one of my main saboteurs is the avoider. And by making friends with that and becoming more conscious of when I'm avoiding something, not because I'm lazy or don't want to do it, but there's some charge to it or a boredom factor to it. So I just focused in on that years after the word focus was my word and became more conscious of how I felt when I was avoiding something. And that's what led me to this year deciding that when we anchor, I want to anchor in a feeling because I have that available to me at all times. There have been years where I forgot what my word was. I really have. I've forgotten what I set up as my intention because it is kind of like a New Year's resolution, which I don't believe in. But I would set the word up, and then when clients would say, "Well, what's our word for the year?" I'd be like, "I cannot remember what my own word is." So, but a feeling is like where you feel guided, right? Like you want it to pull you through the year. You want your feeling to be that thing that you access more and more. I feel like when we connect with our knowing, with how our experiences in this lifetime, we make better conscious decisions and we're more cognitive. And when we're more cognitive, we're actually more connected to our intuitive selves. So when you consider what the feeling of the year is, let's go with something that raises your frequency a smidge. Don't be jumping all the way up to, I want to feel ecstatic all year. Really? Because there are going to be times where you're stuck in traffic. And there are going to be times where you have to get all your taxes together or things that you need your left brain to focus in on and not as much emotion, but more the practical things. And you can fake your way into feeling ecstatic, but that's not going to help raise your frequency. Our soul and our energy field knows truth. So I'd like for you to choose something, some feeling that's just above where you are now and that you can access without a lot of heavy lifting. And what this is going to do is it's going to mitigate the part where you beat yourself up for not having done it on a daily basis. Correct? Okay. So let's do this for just a short experience. If you're driving, please wait to do this. But I'd love for you to close your eyes. Always a deep breath. Place one hand on your heart and another hand on your stomach or your solar plexus, whichever feels most comfortable for you. And then take 3 deep breaths. Come on, you know how to do this. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Again, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's do one more and get that breath way down deep. See if you can breathe deep, deep, deep. And out through. Keeping your eyes closed, ask yourself, how do I want to feel this year? What emotion feels like what Vicky's describing at just above where I am right now? If you're feeling contentedness, maybe we can put a little bit of zhuzh on that and have you feel lit up. If you're feeling melancholy, sad about the previous year that we've gone through or some of what could be in front of us for 2025. If you're feeling melancholy or low about that, let's stretch just a smidge and come up to neutral. Maybe even curious. How could you feel curious about what this year could be for you, what today could be for you? We don't even have to jump to a year. What emotion pops in for you? You may feel it. You may hear a word, you clairaudience out there. You may get a vision of it. It may just drop in. Hello, claircognizance. Whatever feeling that is, whatever emotion that is, reach out with both your hands, taking them off your heart and your stomach. Reach out and receive that. Imagine it's this delicate china, and you're holding it and you don't want to squish it too hard because it could crack. You just want to receive it and then hold it close like you would a puppy or a baby or something, pillow to your chest. Lightly. Hold it there. Remembering to breathe. And perhaps it doesn't come to you right now. Maybe you need to try this when you're not actually listening to a podcast. But whatever that is, allow that to seep into your essence. Do you want to feel peaceful? Do you want to feel bold? Do you want to feel vibrant? Abundant? Joyful? Do you want to feel spacious with me? There's plenty of room in spaciousness. Feel free to join that. Whatever this feeling is, anchor it. Like anchor it in. Feel it in. One more deep breath, and then we'll come back to the room. Fabulous. So with this intention and with this feeling, it will lead to actions. So I chose spaciousness a few weeks ago. Forgot to record the podcast in all transparency. Thank you, Enrique, for the memory, or the reminder, rather. So as you feel through this, as you connect with the feeling, I would love you to realize that this isn't about making goals or even setting intentions. It's about aligning with who you are. And instead of chasing things that we might have to do or achievements, you're embodying the life that you want to feel and you want to live. So I know spaciousness is something that I've enjoyed a little bit of this past year, and I want more of it. I tasted a little bit of the feeling that my days could be more free than they have in the past. And I've tasted it and felt it in interactions with people. And I have experienced it in the horsemanship classes that I'm taking. So by giving my horse the spaciousness that she needs, also teaching her some spaciousness because she's a little bit needy and she would crawl right into my insides if I allowed her to. It's reinforced the essence of how I would like to be in the world. Non-rushed, present, aware, in tasks that I need to do, feel grateful that I get to do them. This morning I was pulling together all my tax information, and I was so grateful that I was so organized throughout the year that it was a piece of cake. Everything's done. And that was because I don't feel the pressure to pull it together. I'm not putting that on me to feel that, because my intention of spaciousness has been somewhat practiced, but not in a conscientious way. So you're looking for something that you've had glimpses of, you felt at times that you want to enhance. We just want to kick it up a notch, as Emerald used to say on the cooking show, for those who may not have the years around the sun that I do. So instead of chasing things and instead of being all about the to-do list, this is an intention, this is a goal, and it's certainly a feeling that we want to pull us through the year. That magnet that's there that allows us to be engaged and present and connected, because there is so much in our world, in our news, in our humanness, in our saboteur contagion that leads us to fear and to worry and to low frequency energies. So there must be an intention set, but there must be action to follow through to actually feel how you want to feel consistently. Okay. So what would it look like to live each day feeling that emotion that you tapped into? How would you show up? What would it do in your relationships? The one with yourself, but also the one with others. Like, what would it do for that? There have been, truthfully, in the way that I'm wired, I get so much information that there have been times I've been dismissive of someone telling me a story or sharing something about their life where I'm like, come on, get on with it. What do we need to do next? Hello, hyperachiever. What is it that we have to check off that to-do list today? And the spaciousness, my hope and my practice is to be patient and to be present. That doesn't mean that I'm going to give up all my time when someone wants to be a psychic vampire. That's not happening either, because I have very good boundaries. But it does mean that I'm going to be invested and intrigued by what someone is saying and how did they get there? Because people are brilliant, and the more we share our brilliance, the more fun we're going to have as a human. So what daily check-in could you do? I firmly believe in a morning practice. My morning practice is, of course, my cup of coffee. You know I love my cup of coffee. I always do 16 ounces of water beforehand, but then my cup of coffee. Then I do my daily focus through the PQ app. And then I do some journaling. And then I get into my day, whatever that may be, sessions, volunteering. This morning it was laundry because we're going away this weekend and I needed to pack some stuff. So what's a daily check-in? I would suggest connecting it to something you're already doing. If you're already brushing your teeth in the morning, good job. Connect it to that. If you are someone who makes a cup of tea or a morning shake or a cup of coffee, connect it to that. Don't make this hard. Do not make this hard. Do not make this one more thing that you have to do. This is something that you're giving yourself so that you can consider, 8 weeks down the line, which is the amount of time our brain needs to fully rewire and have new neural pathways on board. 8 weeks down the line, you're like, actually, this has been pretty cool. Create a reminder. Put something in your phone. Have an alarm show up. A playlist. I love having playlists in Spotify for my various emotions. And I have one when I'm feeling kind of low that I put on. And then I have another one that's more like when I'm feeling nostalgic, I'll play that one. And then when I'm feeling not so great about myself, you better believe I have a pink Adele, just drew a blank on her name. Anyway, empowering vocalists that help me to feel in that space of capability again. So there's going to be curveballs that derail you. There's going to be days that just feel like they were on 10 plus all day long. Use those feelings to connect you to the idea that, hang on, this is not what I said I wanted this year. Let me pause. Let me do a mindfulness practice, a PQ rep. You can rub your fingers together. I love holding my hot coffee cup and just paying attention to the color, to how it feels in my hand, realizing now that my coffee's gone cold as I've been talking. But what is something that can bring you back to the moment so that you don't get carried away with the derailment? Because our brains do get hijacked, they get kidnapped, sabotaged, all of it. Because survival is a really big thing for humans. So small action, make it small. Make it small. That can bring you back to the feeling of bold, back to the feeling of peaceful. Well, let's move you forward to the feeling, the spaciousness. Like when I feel my shoulders come in and I feel tight, like I'm holding tight to my body, I actually do arm circles and expansions so that I can feel the spaciousness in my energy field. I send my aura out, out, out. Send it all the way across the earth, give the earth a little hug, and then bring my aura all the way back in about a foot off my body. We don't want our aura out there traveling around, wide open for everybody to be walking through it, because maybe they're not connected to the idea of lifting up their feelings. This does not come naturally to humans. You're not doing anything wrong. It does not come naturally to our brain to reach for joy. We have to teach it that. We have to train the brain in mental fitness and in intuitive development to reach for that energy, to see the potential in something rather than the pitfall in it, okay? Gratitude will get you there. Gratitude for taking the time to listen to this podcast, to have the idea. Gratitude for yourself for considering that you don't want to spend your days in misery and funk. Like, instead of funk with a K, let's do the fun, the F-U-N, all right? Because it can be incredibly taxing to your system, to your health, to your mindset, with all the negativity that flies around. And it can become a practice of seeing the humor in things and seeing and embodying the joy in everything that happens and the gift or the opportunity that you might not see in the moment, but perhaps down the line. So I would love to know what your feeling is that you're choosing for 2025. So put it in the comments, message me, any of the platforms, Vicky Baird Coaching, or send me an email, vicky@vickybaird.com. Join me for the complimentary events that will be posted and that are meant to help you be in this practice of aligning your mind with your spirit and with all of the universal forces that are here that are to support us. They really are. And this year, as you learn more about how your brain is wired and how to connect that to your intuition, I hope for you that there is an excitement about learning how to see things as they are. We're not being Delulu here, but to also bring that frequency up because that is also needed in our world. And it's a heck of a lot of fun to live in. So lower blood pressure, healthier system, and a definite love for other human beings. And I appreciate you being here. I thank you for your consideration about the raising of the frequency that you will do for our universe and beyond. And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Take care of you. Thank you for listening to this episode of Intuition, Your Success Compass. I appreciate you being here. If you would like more information about developing your intuitive skills, removing those blocks, and creating the life that feels the most successful to you, then head on over to vickybaird.com. That's VICKIBAIRD.com. And check out the courses the groups, and the Spaces app that will allow you to be part of our community and know about upcoming events and specials. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next episode.